Hi, welcome to Stickle Time. It's Dawn here and today is Sunday. Now this week I'm going to do lots of little videos just to show you some of the other jobs that take place around the small holding. As you know, you've got the usual going to do feeds and mucking out and watering vegetables, preserving food, all the normal sort of stuff. But these are sort of some of the other little jobs that sort of tend to pop up. So, first one is, I don't know if you can hear them in the background. Today, I took delivery of, let me see if I can show you because I am very, very scared. Let me put the big light on. So, because we're down in the goat house, it's not a goat. It's not four-legged at all. It's 2 legs and feathers. So, if I stand over here, I'll be able to... And I tilt the camera over enough. You can see them. Little ducklings over there in the corner. I wonder if they'll let me turn the camera around. There they are. These were a trade with a friend, so he ended up with 6 little ducklings who I've just installed into this area of the goat house. These will be raised for meat, hence I'm keeping them away from the other ducks. They've got their own little swimming pool. I've just put them in a thing of food, put them down some bedding, and over the next few days I will put up an outside run for them and start introducing them to the outside world. They're 4 weeks old and they seem quite happy bobbing around on the water. So yes, there we go. So that's one of today's little unexpected jobs. Right, I've put together a little run for the a temporary little run for the little ducks. It's got wire mesh at the bottom and the netting on the top. So then they can now venture outside. It'll do them while they're this small. There's a little pop hole for them to get back into their little bedroom. So they're tucking in there to the grass, etc., and hopefully slugs and snail eggs. And once they're bigger and feathered up, and they're not going to be taken by overhead predators, then I will let them out to roam around this area and around the vegetable area, so they can do a good job of pest control while we fatten them up. I can't get too close to them because they get so scared because they're not quite used to us yet, but they'll just run it all pile into the corner. So there we go, there's the little ducklings. Right, Mrs. Duck, who is Compost's wife, I've put her in with the little ones. She's really struggling down with the big ducks now because she's elderly and her knees are going and she struggles with the mud down there. So she's up here now on retirement, acting as nanny to the little ducks. That's the gammon, all minced up, or chopped up, roughly chopped. Push it into the meat press. Make sure it's all pressed down and as much air out as possible. And that's going to go on legs lined up. That's it. You see there's, I don't know if you can see, but there's little lugs, and you have to line them up and spin it round. Right. Put the thermometer in. The thermometer shows you the different temperatures you've got to get for meat. So I've got to get it up to there, which is about 75 degrees centigrade. That's going to go in there, and that's going into a saucepan of water. There we go, it's in its saucepan of water. That'll be left to come up to temperature. And then once it's cooled down and it's gone in the fridge, then it can be sliced up and used for cold sliced meat for sandwiches. Let's take the ham out. Just scrape off all the jellies. That will get added to your stock. And a layer of fat on the top. Just put that back into the tin. It will be used for cooking. And there's our ham. Right, now I just need to slice it up. broken one over there. Just like a ham you get in the shops. So I just need to slice that a little bit thinner, and then yeah, we'll use that for sandwiches. Right, the next job, turn that round like that. You can't of course have sandwiches without bread. Bread has had its first rise, so I'm just going to tip that out. Oh. Knock it back. These are shower caps, perfect for covering bowls. There we go, just knock it back lightly, divide it into two. It doesn't actually take long to make bread. Most of the time is spent with the waiting and the proving. These are just a normal white crusty loaf, nothing special. Just make sure it's well tucked underneath. Go onto their trays, and they'll be left to prove again for about an hour, and then they'll go into the oven, and that will be 2 loaves for Martin for this week. Okay, the bread is done. Nice bread, that will do Martin for the week. Right, so before I do anything else, I'm going to have a sort out of these 3 big chest freezers and redo the inventories and bring them up to date. I also want to bring out the lamb from down our big freezer, commercial freezer down the bottom, bring that up as well and get it into these freezers. So that's what I'm going to do. I have got, I did buy myself some thermal insulated gloves, neoprene, for working in the freezers. So I'm going to get started with those, get new inventories done so we can find where the stuff is in the freezers. Right, that's the freezers organised. This one is mainly mutton and a few dairy products. This one is mainly pork, fish products, and there's bits of chicken in here. And this one is buffalo meat. There's bread products there for Martin, cheese, and a few other oddments. So as you can see, there's plenty of space. So I'm going to bring up the rest of the mutton from the bottom commercial freezer to put in here. I've redone the inventories, so as things get used, it's all listed how many of each we've got. So as things get used, they can get crossed off. I've also got space to bring up some more buffalo. This little end freezer is mainly my low carb stuff, so it's fruit, low carb bread, and things like that. So, right, good job done. Right, these are the saffron crocus, and they're just starting to open up. So as they are opening, I'm going to snip off the stamens here, and that is your saffron. So I'm going to snip those off and pop them in my little jar, and then as the others come up and open, I can snip them off as well. And then keep going. I'm going to plant them all into one container this year, and I'm going to mesh the top, because when I've grown them before, the squirrels have got to them, and so it's been really hard to keep the squirrels out. But yeah, I think a bit of mesh over the top might just do the trick, and then hopefully the bulbs will go on and multiply. Now there's not a lot there, but there's still a few more flowers to come up, but you can see why it costs so much to buy pure saffron, because you need an awful lot to get a bit of a harvest. But we'll see how much we get by the end of it. And this one is Conqueror. I might see if I can get hold of some more bulbs actually and get a bigger area planted up to them. Right, here are the sweet potato slips that I took off the plants about 4 or 5 days ago. And I stripped them down to their leaves, so the leaves are all starting to grow again. They've been dipped, the stems were dipped into some hormone rooting that I made from some willow, and then they've been put into water. And you can actually see that they are rooting. So that one's got some roots on. In fact, I've only got 3 stems in there. That one that I've just yanked out of the water has got some root on as well. Now, from what she was saying, or what I understand she was saying, is you took all the leaves off, which I did. So these leaves have regrown since then. And throughout the winter, you can then use the leaves as part of your meals. Now, I can't remember if she said they stir-fried them or whether they steamed them. So I thought, well, I'll give this a go and see what they're like. And now I've tipped out 1 tub of sweet potatoes. I'm going to take some more stems and get them going as well. And it will give us some much needed greens and extra nutrition and something a bit different through the winter. But we shall try them first, see if we like them. I'm sure we will. And I will check in with her and see exactly what it is they use. And then hopefully we'll be able to keep them going enough and be able to continue to take cuttings so that come the spring they can be planted out for our next lot of sweet potatoes. The best thing about this lifestyle is the variety of food. So tonight we have got a roasted chicken. I have done Martin some pork crackling from the skin off the ham or the gammon that I took out earlier. We have harvested today, or I've harvested today, another load of peppers, another tub of sweet potatoes. I have got veg cooking for dinner. We have got parsnips, potatoes, carrots, squash. Done it? Parsnip, carrot, potatoes, squash. Yeah, so they're all roasting for dinner. I've still got a tray of fudge sitting in there. We have had scones today. I've made bread. Scones were from out the freezer, and we had some brandy butter sitting in the freezer, so I was using that up. There's 1 little scone left there. We've got homemade butter that I've taken out of the freezer, that's defrosting. There's a couple of tomatoes there. There's a load more in the fridge. So it is just the sheer variety, which we probably wouldn't have otherwise. Thank you very much for watching. So please join me now while I put the kettle on and make a cup of tea.